Hi everyone, today on Alvarez TV we're going to talk about our wonderful Archtop guitars. We don't make them at the moment, but we do get a lot of questions about them. So we're going to take a closer look and ask, should we bring them back?
Wow, these are great. Are they
Did
not?
we resolve because it was electrics? Are we keeping these on?
Maybe we can take them off. Yeah.
Woo! Everybody,
Hi everyone.
bit of a different show today.
Bit of a different show today, mate.
What we doing today, D?
Look at this wonderful array of electrics that are out there circulating,
In the world.
but aren't being made.
Mm.
And we only have one question, right?
Yeah. Why don't we make them?
Why don't we make them?
Sad, isn't it? So we've had lots and lots of comments. Thank you about our electric guitars. Tim used some in Alvarez videos and things,
Yeah.
and we've all got one, and we love them. Actually, they're going up in price online. In fact,
Are they?
I've seen some selling much more than we actually sold them originally. We developed these we started making them in February 2016. We made them in our acoustic factory.
Mm-hmm.
And in my ignorance, I didn't realize how different it was. I thought, oh, let's try some Archtops. But it was really, really different. And I'll be honest, we struggled to get everything right, especially all the assembly around electronics, because we've never really worked with magnetic pickups before. And fitting all the electronics in an Archtop with through F-holes is quite something for a production line. We did all the design. There's a guy called Fritz Kato, a Japanese guy who helped me, who specializes in Archtops, and came to the factory loads. We made our own mold for our double cut. So that's our own shape. We designed it. I think it's a lovely shape.
Yeah.
We got really into it, learnt loads and loads, and we started making them. And all of a sudden realized, like, the production lines started coming, grinding down, not to a halt, but like usually at final assembly, you know, we have everything down, and our acoustic guitars go through all the inspection, final setup, blah, 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 out. And like these are coming at the final assembly, and it's taken 2 people 45 minutes to put all the electronics in and all that sort of stuff. So we've got like this mad, very busy acoustic line, and then we were building these, and then we got busier and busier, and as Alvarez grew over the past few years, we couldn't continue to make them because they were inefficient for what we were set up to do normally.
Just not set up for that.
Like if you're set up for this, then of course you can do it, but we weren't.
Yeah.
And also we put like masses of quality. You know, they feel brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the comments online, and we were selling them for like $600 or $700 when they first came out.
Right.
And we did 5 shapes or 5 models, but we couldn't keep going, so we
Pulled it. Oh.
It is a shame.
Bring them back.
Future? Could there be a future for them?
We definitely want to bring them back. If you do have one, then well done. I have this one. I have that one, but you're kind of bagsy that one.
I have a different version of this one, but
I'm keeping hold of all of them. So we got samples. So when we make them again, but we use Duncan design pickups, which are Seymour Duncans made in Asia rather than in the States. That sound great. We did classic double cut with 2 humbuckers.
Yep.
So that's a semi-acoustic. This is totally acoustic, slim body.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did this slim body, another semi with a single cut, bigger body, 2 P90s. This is mine. Somebody's got some real good.
Yeah, you like that one, don't you?
Yeah. Then we did another double cut, which is an AAT 32. If you've got one of those, I tried to buy one and I just missed it.
Oh, that's right. You tried to buy one.
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
I saw one online and it just sold. So we've got one of these slim body double cut with a sound post in and 2 P90s. And in Sunburst, that is a brilliant guitar.
Yeah.
But there's not many out there. There's maybe, I don't know, man. There's maybe 40 or something.
Really?
Wow.
They're rare. These are really rare as well.
Right.
That's the AAT 25. Not many of those were made. These 2 more were made, and we did a 35, which is a deeper body jazz box, all acoustic with humbuckers in. So if you have one, I see the guys posted online who are very happy with them, and there's not that many out there, but hopefully one day we'll be able to make a few more.
I have a Gibson ES175, 2 humbuckers, and recently, earlier in the year, I did a short tour, and I was trying to decide which guitar to take, this or the ES175, and me and Sam behind the camera did a sound comparison, and there was not a lot in it. There really wasn't a lot in it, and I ended up taking this. Well, this isn't my one. This is the one you hold on to, but yeah, my own version of this. I love this guitar. I think it's totally great.
Yeah. So we're getting lots of requests for them. Please bear with us. We're trying to work out how to make them again. And now we know a bit more about it.
Good news.
And when we first came out with them, we're not known for this stuff. So actually, this all okay. But now that the demand, it takes time to.
Honestly, if you can get a hold of one of these are wickedly good.
Feels really nice, that, doesn't it?
Yeah. As soon as I picked this up.
Yeah.
It does. It's got the neck profile's grey on it. It's just got it just feels. I don't know. It feels played in.
No, it's a great one.
Yeah, it's lovely. And this must be pretty difficult to make, like an Archtop, when you used to making sort of. How do you go around the design of that?
Obviously it comes from a violin, because a violin is arch top and back with F-holes. So that's where the design comes from. Gibson, or Orville Gibson, is credited designing the Archtop, but there's a bit of controversy around that because there was other people applying for patents in the late 1800s as well as him. I think there was somebody called Merrill, but he had a patent in 1898 that he applied for a mandolin that was also, I think, allowed to be applied to a guitar. He made a mandolin and a guitar, and the guitar was more like a biggish parlor with I'm not sure it had headphones actually. It had a floating bridge and a tailpiece.
Yeah.
But it was like an acoustic guitar. Then, in my understanding, they employed Lloyd Law in 1922. Lloyd Law was a guitar designer, a mandolin designer, and I think he was a sound engineer as well. And he designed the L5, the Gibson L5, and I think the F5 mandolin in 1922. And you can still buy the L5 today.
It's a big old guitar, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big jazz box. In my memory reading, I don't think they sold that well to begin with. And I think Lloyd Law left Gibson after a couple of years. But then they started selling. In the 30s, Gibson came out with the ES150, which was an electric, had a pickup in. And that's really where the big band and the jazz players embraced the ES150. I think in 1936, might have to check that, somebody will let me know. And it became that jazz big band guitar because that was the music of the time. Sure. They embraced it. And of course, that's what we think of those jazz boxes. That's where they became. And then in jazz music, the guitar moved to being a soloist instrument because before that was was part of the rhythm section.
Yeah.
It became a soloist instrument, and then we had all these amazing, wonderful jazz players. And the ES, which now, for Gibson, sort of was the prefix. Actually stood
electric
for
Spanish.
It's electric Spanish.
Electric Spanish.
I was
Electric
Spanish. Yeah.
So it was an electric Spanish 150. And I think the 150 was because it was $150 and you got a guitar and the amp.
Really?
And something else. I think that's where it came from.
Wow.
I'm not sure this is 100% right. The slim body, I think they came out with a slim body. I think they came out with a 335 and 58 or something. Maybe 50.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I think it was 58. It's something like that. With the center block, because obviously, music was getting louder, guitars were getting louder, and the big jazz boxes could play themselves once you got to a certain level.
Of course.
So they slimmed them down. They put in the center block. So a semi-acoustic has a center block running through this. So you get these nice acoustic chambers on the sides underneath the F-holes, which it just gives it that little more ambience and air within the sound. But you get that sustain from that center block running through. You get less feedback.
Yeah.
I think it was 58, and then of course it was adopted by rock and pop bands in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it. There's two ways to make them. In the early days, they would carve the top. They'd get a piece of spruce and maple, and they'd literally carve it out. So they'd carve that whole arch. And then later they developed a way of heat pressing them so they're shaped. Instead of fully carved, in fact, Gibson still make carved instruments. And all those wonderful makers like De Cristo, D'Angelico, Stromberg, all those New York guys, I think Stromberg was from Boston, they started making them, then Gretchen, Epiphone. In fact, I think the Lloyd Law made L5 or F5s. I think they're like seriously
antique pieces.
But they're like serious collectors, aren't they? It's like the mandolins are the same.
I think if you've got an L5 signed by Lloyd Law, that's your retirement sort of.
Yeah. Because his time at Gibson's like, it's the same with the mandolins, isn't it? Like people always hunt out Lloyd Law, F5s.
Major money, you know.
Yeah, especially if they're made by him, so yeah.
So what's the wood? What's the construction?
Maple, is generally used for archtops. They do use spruce. Usually you find a solid spruce top on larger bodies, and you'll find that these pressed maple tops on I think it's not a real rule, but something like over 16 inch, you maybe got the spruce. So you see, those Super 400s, like 17 inch, even 18 inch bodies.
Yeah, like huge.
Played one
see
before.
Spruce like that. It's just like, I mean, major money for a carved instrument. The time.
Yeah, I remember years ago when I had the shop, a guy walked in with an L7.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was a huge and very expensive guitar,
beautiful.
But it was absolutely
and that whole
crafted.
thing of like archtops, all the Art Deco style and the headstocks and that kind of New York kind of vibe, and I mean it just really grabbed the time of that big band and the 30s onwards, and the instrument. I don't know if the instrument became like part of the styling of the time, it really did, or even the instrument sort of influenced lots of the music from back then, no doubt. Unfortunately, we don't make them anymore, but we will one day.
Maybe someone can start a petition.
But anyway, if you got one, keep a hold of it. We'll have some more, and it's the Alvarez Archtop AAT 25. There's a 32 with a sound post. That's a 33. This is a 34. And there's a jazz box, deeper body, called a 35 with humbuckers.
Great.
Nice.
Hey everybody.
Thanks everyone.
Cheers,
Thanks
guys.
for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. If you want to watch more videos like this one, click the video on the screen now.